Hey y'all, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these really adorable peppermint penguin hot chocolate bombs. A couple tips here. You want to make sure that when you are painting the chocolate onto the inside of your mold, that you get it all the way up to the edges and as even as possible. Also, if you're going to be giving these as gifts or possibly even selling them, you want to wear some food-safe gloves that will help prevent fingerprints on your finished product. Anyway, stay tuned and I'll show you how to make them. Alright y'all, let us get started. First off, let's make some hot chocolate mix because you know what? I'm not a big fan of Swiss Miss and all that instant stuff that you can get in the grocery store. I don't know. It's just me. I just don't like it. Now, if that's what you want to use in yours, that is perfectly fine. I just thought that since we're on the topic of hot chocolate, I want to show you what I use. But anyway, we have an empty bowl over here. And in here, we have 1 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Over here we have 2 cups of confectioner sugar, and here we have 2 cups of non-fat dry milk. And let me show you what that is. It's just the powdered milk, the instant non-fat dry milk. So you can get it in little packets, but I have found it to be more cost efficient if you get it in that bag, and that came from Walmart. So basically you're just going to mix all this stuff together, but you need to sift it first. So let's go with our cocoa powder. I'm just going to move this over here. We're just going to dump that in there and just sift it because you want it to be as fine as possible. Super fine. We all like some fine hot cocoa. And I'm going to make a mess with it because y'all know I'm like the world's messiest baker, cooker, recipe, or whatever you want to call it. All right, so now when we get down to all these little lumps down here, let me get my spoon that has powdered sugar all over it. And you can just press it through just like so. Now that we have all of that pressed through, there we go. Now let's just shake off a little bit, make sure there's no grains in there. And now we're going to do the same thing with our powdered sugar. Just making sure everything is as fine as possible. So just go shake it all out. And then if we have like any little lumpies in there, just take your spoon and mash them out. All right, now that we have all that put together, now I'm just going to dump in our powdered milk. And because this is instant, it dissolves instantly, I'm not worried about lumps in that. So now what you want to do is just stir all of this up really, really well to get it all incorporated. And then that makes your hot chocolate mix. So how much of this do you use? Half a cup of this to a cup of hot water or hot milk, you know, whatever you want to use. That seems to be pretty good for me. Now, this recipe is a really old recipe. It came out of a Girl Scout cookbook. And I can't remember the recommendation of the mixture that they said in the book, but it was too rich to my liking. I mean, you can use however much you want, but, you know, that's just a guideline. Half a cup of this to a cup of your liquid. But anyway, I'm going to mix all this up, and then we'll actually make our chocolate bombs. Alrighty, moving along to the actual little chocolate bomb part. I got this at Walmart. These melting wafers over in, you know how up near the front of the store they have the aisles of just the holiday stuff? That's where I found this, not over with the baking stuff. But anyway, peppermint flavored. Look at that. And look, aren't they cute? They're just these little wafers with peppermint flakes in them. Anyway, what we're going to do is I'm just going to shake out about half the package. And we're going to melt these. It gives you instructions on the package how to melt them. I'm going to throw them in the microwave until they're all nice and melted and be back. All right, so this is all nice and melted down, no lumps. And we have our chocolate bomb mold over here on a cookie sheet. You don't have to put it on a cookie sheet if you're going to leave it sitting on your counter. But I have found it to be incredibly useful to set this on a baking sheet so that you can pick it up and move it because these molds are kind of thin, okay? So anyway, now what you're going to do is you're just going to take a little bit of this and you're going to put it down inside your mold, like so. And then you need to take a very clean paintbrush. This is a brand new brush. And you're just going to sort of paint it up the sides like so. And whatever I'm doing here, we're going to do for all of them, okay? We're just painting it up the side. And then later on, we pop it out. That's what's going to be, you know, our actual little sphere. So paint it around, paint it around. I do 3 coats, 3 thin coats. So when you put it on here, you don't want it to be really thick, because then when you go to look at it after it sets up, the sides will all run back down to the bottom. So you don't want to put really, really thick layers. I think 3 thin ones are better. And I've had really good success with that. But anyway, let's lay that there. And then you're just going to do that with all of these. Like I said, let this layer set up. And then go back and do 2 more for a total of 3. I'm just going to paint it up here. It's fairly chilly in here, so it's probably going to work very well, just me letting it sit here on the counter. You can stick them in the freezer for a few minutes if you want to speed it along. If your house is kind of warm and you put these in the freezer, just know that when you take them out, they will build up condensation, and it can kind of ruin them. So, you know, just be careful of that. But anyway, I will be back after I have my 3rd layer painted in. All right, so these have set up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stick them together, and I just have a paper plate here, and I'm going to be taking a few of these and just putting them on here, and we're going to melt these down, and this is what we're going to use to dip the spheres in, okay, to stick them together. Why are you not flipping over? Oh my goodness. All right, so now we're going to stick this in the microwave for about 15-20 seconds or so. Make sure they're nice and melted. All right, so this is nice and melted. Let's just smear it around a little bit. Now you need to work quickly with this so that this doesn't set up. If it does set up, stick it back in the microwave for a few seconds, okay? But anyway, you just gently pop these out of the mold. That's what the back side looks like. And now you're going to take some of your hot chocolate mix and we're going to put in here. Now these are fairly small and they're only going to hold about 1/4 cup of mix. So I'm getting that over here in my little bowl. And we're just going to shake that down in there and fill it up. So we have our little snowman marshmallows here. Just going to take them and just kind of push them down in there like so. Now because there's only 1/4 cup of mix in here, you're going to mix this down with 1/2 cup of hot water or hot milk. But because this chocolatey stuff here, and then we're going to put on some drizzle, okay? And that's going to make it extra sweet. So you can use anywhere between 1/2 cup and 1 cup. You know, it's just, it all depends on your taste. All I can say is, you know, just make a few and, you know, you decide what you like. So now you see how I'm just dipping this in this melted stuff over here. Just set it straight down on top. Make sure everything is even and just let it harden up. All right, let's get ready to decorate. We're going to be using these red candy melts from Wilton. I got these at Walmart. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a handful of these, put it in one of these little tiny bowls here, and then we're going to melt it down so that we can drizzle it on top. All right, so I have these little paper cups here because they really do come in handy when you're decorating these. So you're just going to set your cocoa bomb here on one of these cups, and you see how this is all nice and melted. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in a piping bag. I've already cut the very tip of it off. So I'm just going to scoop it into this bag. Okay, all of this is in the bag, and I'm not going to put on like a whole lot, but we're just going to sprinkle, drizzle, whatever you want to call it, on just like so. I got a little bit of cocoa powder on that one because I had it on my hand and didn't realize. That's okay. It's just going to be for me and my kids. And now we're putting on some sprinkles. These sprinkles came from Walmart. Use whatever sprinkles you like so. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to use is this edible glitter spray. Again, this is from Wilton. Just comes in a little pump like this. And we're just going to spray them all over just to give them a little bit of a sheen. Don't worry, this is totally safe to eat. It just makes them pretty, okay? And now we have these little candy penguins also from Wilton. So we're just going to take a little bit of this. We're going to stick it on the back. And then we're just going to nestle it down just like so. And now I'm going to do it to the other 3. Just like that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to let these set up. How adorable is that? So we're going to let these set up, and then we're going to put them in some little cupcake liners, and then you can put them down in a cellophane bag, wrap them up. If you're going to ship these, just be careful. But anyway, hold tight. I'll come back, and we'll see what they look like in the little wrappers. And here we are. Aren't those pretty? Pretty, pretty. And here they are in their little wrappers. Aren't those just, oh, those are just so cute. I'm so happy with these. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would, give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media. The links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye.